Yo, what is going on, guys? So today I'm going to be showing you my book collection. So as you can see, this is my book collection over here. I create books as a hobby when I'm bored. So I'm going to show you my books, and I'm going to show you tips for making books. So before we get started, I've been making books for 5 years. The first book I made was called Treasure Hunting. One of the very first books I made, grade 3. And then they all got lost. So the oldest book right now over here is Taco Meets a Noob. So yeah, I'm going to show you this book real quick. How I got interested into making books is, after I stopped making books in grade 3 and 4, I then decided, I want to try something new. So I started making books again. Then I got interested, mainly because in grade 5, because that's when I started making lots of books, there was like this bin where you could put your books that you made. So here is Taco Meets a Noob. It's a picture book, very simple. It's one of my old books. Sorry about that. So let me just put it back. So now I'm going to be showing you examples of books that I made. So this is a book that I made 2 years ago called Hank and the Alien Invasion. If I estimate out of these 200 books here, because I have more than 200 books, around like 20 of them are You Choose books. This is the best You Choose book. Like here, for example, to get your weapons and fight, go to page 5, and there are multiple options. So there are 21 choices and 11 endings. One of them actually has a sweet ending, and then there's like an end with activities. Even though it's a You Choose book, I try to make it a good plot with good ending. So let me just put this book back. So a book that I am working on is called Hunted. As you can see, I'm making a series called Hunters, where it's a series about a bunch of animals who can talk, and then they're basically stopping villains from doing evil stuff. It's an entire story. So this is a novel. And I am actually putting my effort into this by putting lots of effort. I don't know how to explain it. So here, there's a bunch of words. And then I'm going to draw pictures. For example, Hank sleeping, which is one of the main characters. So, yeah, it's also half comic, half novels, half pictures. And, yeah. So, basically how this book works is, at the beginning, there's 3 main characters named Hank, which is the hippo, Carl, which is the crocodile, and Titi, which stands for tiny turtle, which is the turtle. So basically, they're going out. They live in a small village, and they're going out to get some firewood. And then they notice that there's hunters. And then when they get back, they get fired from their part-time job. And then they go and try to investigate more. And then they investigate the hunters more, and then the hunters come to invade their town or village, and then the plot goes on. So that's enough for this book. This is a book that I'm actually working on. I also have other books that I am working on. For example, here, as you can see, Hunter's Tournament. I even make non-fiction books. There's 7-second riddle books. Here's a You Choose video that I showed you, and yeah. I even have big books over here and small books. I even have a series called The Weird Story. I have many books, around 20 books of The Weird Story. Let me try to find them. So while I was trying to find it, I found Hank's Space Quest series. There's 8 books. See, part 4, 5, 6, I think I just skipped 7. So, yeah, now I'm going to be showing you tips for making books. So, when writing a book, here are some tips for writing. So, writing style, the way you write it, so that the reader can get interested into it, like the way you write the book. And make it dramatic so that there's a bunch of plots and stuff going on. For example, the main character dies or its friend. Plot twist as well. Metaphors. Get that poetic stuff in there. Represent something. multiple plots to make it interesting if it's long, an interesting short to give the reader a good introduction of the book, flashbacks, and foreshadowing, and also personification. Like, for example, the raging winds. Foreshadowing can also help so that like the reader can connect all of the stuff together in the story like a puzzle. So yeah. Another thing that I recommend while making books is that while you are making books, if you're making a long book like a novel, for example, Haunted, which is what I'm making on, try to think of the plot. See if the reader would be interested in it. Like, go on your bed and think about what should go next and what would make the reader more interested into it. Like, take your time thinking. Practice makes perfect. Just keep on making warm-up books, and then once you get used to those, you can start making the more bigger books, and then you could get used to those. And yeah, sometimes you can make books for fun. For example, Duo Battle. I just made like a small fight, and yeah. Now, something that I used to do a long time ago, actually, I used to divide it into first class books, second class books, and third class books. First class books had the ladybug stamp on it. Second class books had, let me try to find one. This, wait, like, a picture, a note on it, like down here. See that? Basically, the first class books are the highly recommended ones, and the third class books are the least recommended. But I stopped doing that because, I don't know, it's just my opinion. I didn't want to do it. So, yeah. So now I'm going to show you my top 20 best books. So out of my 205 books, my first best is Hunted, which is this book right here. I already told you what the book is like, so moving on. The second book is actually The Strive for Resources. I forgot about that book. So The Strive for Resources is a book all the way back here. This one. The Strive for Resources. Now, out of all of the books in there, this is the only book that is a school project. I worked hard on this book. It's also the only book that is... There's actually 3 books that are printed. And yeah, it's basically the young hunters. And the plot is very good, but there are a lot of grammar mistakes, copying and pasting into this print. And yeah, I edited it, and I actually didn't finish the back. I was kind of lazy. This is about the book. So moving on. My third most favorite book is The Hank and the Alien Invasion, which I already showed you. The fourth book is called Abuse. So while I was searching for the book Abuse, I actually lost it. One of my favorite books. It was a book that I was almost done working on, but it appears I lost it. It's about like 2 hamsters. It's an emotional story about 2 hamsters being abused and trying to escape owner. That video was inspired by Hamster Hell. I liked the Hamster Hell video. So moving on to the 5th. I mean, yeah, it's supposed to say 5th, but instead it says 6th. So Hank's Can You Survive the Sun? It's basically a sequel to Hank and the Alien Invasion, except it's a you choose book and you try to survive the sun. The 7th is Hank Meets the Apocalypse, another you choose book. 8th is Hank's Space Quest to Mars, which is this one right here. It's a classic book. It's mainly comic and pictures and stuff. It's one of my very old books. However, it is still one of the best books yet. The 9th best one is A Hank Tank. The plot isn't that good, but it's just that I put effort into making the comic itself. 10th is 40 Facts About Hank. Basically, 40 facts about Hank of the Hunter series. 11 is the How to Make, which is this book right here. Basically, how to make stuff. How to make monster marshmallows, strawberry milkshake slime, bow arrow slingshot, paper airplane, invisible ink. And yeah, I worked hard on this, and I actually did them myself. So that's why it's good. It's not that interesting, but it's interesting to me because all of these I actually made, and if I want to see how to make it, I could just look at it again. Then my 12th favorite book is 7-Second Riddles, which is this one right here, where I there's many riddles, and I worked hard on making these riddles. Like, for example, riddle 6. You decide to do something stupid and enter a haunted mansion. Basically, riddles to practice your mind. And most of them are riddles that I actually worked on. The 13th is Hank's Space Quest to Alien Invasion. It's the 6th book of the Hank Space Quest series. Then Skeletons Turn to Fight, very old one. Then Tech Disaster. Then The Weird Story Eating. Facts About Hippos, XXX2, which is a book about this dumb person with a square hat. It's the plot isn't good, but it's just that it's a very funny book. And then Facts About the Titanic, which is one of the books that I worked on school. But it's not a plot book, it's a nonfiction book. My 20th book is Missed Clip 7, which is basically like missed clips for a book, like extra clips for a book, for example, Haunted and Hank and the Alien Invasion. And my 21st favorite is Hank's Space Quest to Saturn's Rings, which is another book to the series Hank's Space Quest. So yeah, those are my best books, and yeah, that's it for that.
Oh my god.
So my brother also makes books, but I won't show you it. So these are basically all my books that I work as a hobby. By the way, guys, sorry about all the background noise. My brother's in trouble because he got the floor wet. Yeah, I'll just say that. So that's basically it for today. Tell me in the comments if you make books and what kind of books you make. The type of books I make is random, but the majority of it is novels. You choose books also. Comics I used to make so long. And then there's also nonfiction books. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe. My brother also makes books as well, but he's not here, so he's in trouble. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that video, and peace!